What we got here is a 2008 Chevy Impala right rear door. What we're going to be doing is removing the door panel to replace the window regulator. Not a very hard job to do, pretty simple. What you have a sail panel right here that has to be removed. Got to remove this right here. Just lift it up. There's 2 screws under there, Torx screws. Behind the door handle, there's a screw right here. Remove that. Looks like you also have a screw here. And there's a series of clips all the way around the door that we're just going to pop free. I'm going to pull this apart. T30 Torx. You got 2 long ones that go here. Got a shorter one, goes there. Yep. Looks like a 7mm head. And that's what it is. Got an electrical connector in here, typical GM fashion, not enough room.
They put the electrical plug release tab on the wrong end.
Small screwdriver to get that electrical connector. And there, you see the release tab. That's exactly how it's positioned in the car. So you have to get the screwdriver, this is the panel is right here. You have to get the screwdriver up in here to release it. So you're basically going to slide that screwdriver up to release it. This is where the electrical connector is. Your screwdriver has to come on in here to release it. Why this car company chooses to do it this way instead of putting it on the outside so you can easily squeeze it and pull the wiring harness off is beyond me. This is a disaster to undo. Here's that little clip you're going to fight to remove. This here, you got to push the tabs. This is where your cable for your handle goes. So your cable comes through here like this. Simple ball, it just kind of falls in and locks. And you just draw it out. To put it on, you're just going to clip it in, draw it out, and then snap it back in. But to release it, you have to get in here and release those tabs. Well, you can't get your finger in there. As you can see, there's not enough room. Getting a pair of needle nose, and you can't see it because it's smack against the door. This is the back side of the door panel, as you can see. So a little bit of a fight. The easiest way to do it is get this electrical connector off first. Okay, once you get that off, then you're able to gain access to this a little bit easier because you can rotate the door panel. I always try to take care in taking these off because I put them back. So it can be a pain in the sometimes a razor knife you use. You see how flimsy this GM door is? It's just junk. I generally don't peel them all the way off if I don't have to, so this way at least some of it's still intact. I'm just going to point out all the screws on this door panel that you're going to have to remove to take the window regulator out of the car. So first and foremost, you got a screw right here. You can just loosen it. That's slotted. You can see it. Then you got for the window motor, 1, 2, 3. They're all slotted. Down the bottom, you have one here. This one's slotted. This one here needs to be removed. And then on the glass, you have one here. And you have one here, and one electrical clip, which is right there. What I do first these screws from the glass. Take an airbag wedge. When you do this, you want to make sure you hold the glass securely. This airbag works perfect. Harbor Freight, great tool. Better than the tool truck ones that they sell. All 10mm head. You don't have to take the screws out where you see where they're slotted with the big openings there and right there. You can just loosen them and then slide the motor off of it. So here it's just a finagle to get it out. Removing the regulator in this car, it was easiest to lift up, get it off, come down, go forward, and then slide it out that way. There's the broken part of the regulator right there. I always like to use all the original hardware. Aftermarket regulator, I have to use one of the aftermarket screws because it would collide into the body. So that's a key thing to look for. As you can see, this wouldn't work. So the screws that came with the regulator, as you can see, are shorter. So in all the other positions, I used the original hardware. In that one position, I had to use the aftermarket hardware because of a redesign issue with the aftermarket parts. It happens commonly. But you got to pay attention to odd stuff. And as you can see, the bolts are already lined up. It kind of holds it in place. Makes it a lot easier for installation. And just line up the two down the bottom. Make sure you plug that electrical connector in and make sure it's not pinched behind the motor. That's a catastrophic fail when you do that. I try to hold everything in place and try to line up all the original paint marks, kind of reference marks or witness marks. And I slide the window down, line it up to the regulator, tighten it up to the regulator. Putting the car back together right now. Make sure all the clips line up. Checking the operation here, making sure it's going up and down. That's a dry silicone lube, it dries with no film basically. Everything works, so we're good there. Here I'm using a razor blade scraper to remove the glue from the customer applied duct tape This is one of the worst to remove from glass. It's best on a cold day. It comes off easier than on a hot day because it kind of smears. On a cold day, or you park the car outside in the cold and then use a razor blade, scrape 90% of it off, then use 2+2 gum cutter or acetone. Just be careful, don't get it on the rubber or the paint, and try to clean it before you hit it with glass cleaner because you got to get that residue off or else it just keeps tearing the paper towel. And I always spray the towel instead of spraying the glass because it splatters when you spray the glass. And then hit it with glass cleaner and clean it off with glass cleaner, get the rest of the residue off. And just to me, it just makes the job better.